being the owner of Millennium, what's your background in dance and how did you get involved in the industry?
Oh, well, Robert Baker and myself are the co-owners.
Yeah.
And we met in dance class on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
So a very long time ago. And he was on Broadway and I was in a girl group and choreographing for more video type thing. And back then, in those days, Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson, they're just out. So all singers danced really well.
Right.
So my background was that he went on to do TV movies. That was his passion, which brought us to Los Angeles. And I had always had dance studios and little fitness studios and always something with dance. So I really love dancing and I love commercial dance. That's my passion. And the idea that I could always be in a dance studio for the rest of my life appealed to me. And I look at choreographers as just like a box of chocolates, and each one is so different and wonderful, and it's an assortment. So the idea that I could arrange classes like a box of chocolate and pick my favorite choreographers of all different styles and types and flavors and make my own arrangement and then have it in a facility for people to sample and enjoy like I enjoyed it. Yeah. Just really.
And to be surrounded by that constantly as your work. Yeah, it's pretty great.
That was my love.
So how did you get into Millennium? I know there's an interesting story behind that.
No, we came out here 25 years ago, drove out from New York, where I'm from, and Robert started interning at movie studios. Okay. Because that was his passion. Yeah. And I took a job at a big dance studio that was famous in the 50s for Vegas, and it had been closed down and whatnot, and somebody was trying to eke some dance classes out. So I worked as a manager there. So 2 months later, they were foreclosed upon. And the owners said, "Oh, didn't you have your own studios in New York?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They said, "Do you think you can run this?" It was a 10,000 square foot building. I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I said, "I don't have any money. I just moved out here a couple months ago." And they said, "Just give me a percentage." Wow. So that's how I started. Crazy. And it was at a time that hip hop really was. In New York, there was no hip hop in 1992.
Wow, okay.
It was in the club and underground, but it wasn't in commercial.
In class.
And in LA, it had just started to have a couple classes. I didn't even know what it was. Right. And a lot of the local studios felt that it was a flash in the pan. Oh, don't do that. That's untrained dancers. It's not going to... And I thought, wow, it looks really interesting to me. Yeah. And again, I like having... I wanted to have a facility that had all the types of chocolates. So I started scouting new talent. Right. And that was a lot of fun. A lot of people that I knew from New York would come out and wouldn't get hired. Right. And a lot of young people from Cincinnati or, where all places around the country.
Who are known in LA weren't getting hired.
Who were not known in LA. Or some of them who just were fabulous dancers and young.
Just didn't get the opportunity anywhere else.
Because they wouldn't let them have the opportunity, and there weren't the jobs for it, but they were doing this thing called hip hop. So I started hiring them and just having fun developing new talent, and then hip hop evidently took off.
Like, huge.
And people loved us, we loved them, and the beauty that I think they loved was having all the forms of dance represented for once, and the hip hop people being treated with respect, the ballet with respect, and the jazz with respect, and it wasn't
one
warring, one is better, warring, factions.
I know there's been heaps of, like, a lot of stars that come to your studio. How'd you gain a reputation in that part of LA?
Oh, well, honestly, I think because we treat people really well, and we really like to serve our clients, whether that's a beginner dancer or a star. And I think that as we serve people well,
it gives
people feel comfortable. And our teachers grew. So the young teachers that we have, the young talent that we scouted, as they grew in their careers, then they would be choreographing whoever it was, Justin Timberlake or whatnot. Michael Jackson did all his rehearsals there. Janet, in the day, everyone taking classes there. They would say, "Oh, come to my studio. It's great. Right. It's fantastic. You can chill out there. No one bothers you. No one's snobby. You can relax."
Like, how do you choose who's in your home, in your space?
For our managers, it's all pretty much people that we know.
Yeah.
So a dancer could come in and they would want to be a work study and work at the front.
Yeah.
They go through a screening. Robert has a really great gut intuition. So he'll interview 10 of them and maybe take 1 or 2.
Right.
So they go through screening, they go through a long training, and then a probationary period. So we know them ahead of time. As far as teachers, a lot of them start out as students.
Okay.
And then we can build their career.
Yeah.
Teachers who come have to always go on a sub list.
Okay.
So we can see
how they are. And
we know they're probably great. We can see how they dance from being in classes, but what are their personalities like? Do they fit with us?
Yeah. And how they as teachers, because it's a different skill to
teach than to it's
dance.
A blessing to be a teacher and a good dancer. Usually you don't get blessed with the same.
Absolutely.
So it's a way to try it out, to see how they are in the studio environment.
Yeah.
Start subbing. Are they on time? Are they positive? And can they teach exactly?
Yeah. Are they reliable?
And then we start, you know, filling them in more and more. Then when our teachers go away for maybe a period of a month, we plug them in. Yeah. How do they deal with that? Yeah. How do they treat the staff? Yeah. You know, if they had an attitude or a little diva, like, we won't hire them or we take them off the schedule. Yeah. Or big choreographers who they could come in and we'll like give them the benefit of the doubt. And if they are not acting in the Millennium way of cooperation and a little bit of humility, etc., then we let it go. Okay. And you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, that's a huge. You're going to lose." I'm like, no, we really won't lose business. We
were here before them, and
people are here for Millennium Brand and what they believe to find here as a home and an incubator for art. So we just get rid of it. Yeah. And then they can go on and be happy, and we can too. And a lot of times, you know, they'll come back with a different attitude. But we want to keep the environment safe for learning. Yeah. And I think that studios that are if you're very uptight and very competitive and all those things, we're naturally competitive. Yeah, we in arts. But you, it doesn't make you a really great artist, and it doesn't make you able to learn that much. You're learning from fear. So if you can relax and feel supported and feel that you can make mistakes, you can feel more comfortable opening up, and you can learn and grow with others. Okay, you know, that's great. I have a big mission statement at the front desk. I don't know if you read it. It's on the website. I did read it. Yeah. That's how I started the studio. Yeah. And it basically said, check your egos. Yeah. This is about the internal experience of dance. Yeah. And what we're giving to the world. As a dancer, whether you're you work 9 to 5 and you come after class, or you're a top choreographer or pop artist, and everyone in between. Yeah. It doesn't matter, because that's not what we're doing here. Yeah. We're connecting to the inside of us through the art of dance. Yeah. And that connects with others. It's you know, non-verbal art form. Yeah. And it's an energy that's generated and put out. How are you going to use that energy? So just respect each other. Yeah. And I always laughed because I didn't have to pay rent. I just give a percentage for like seriously, like for 6 years. I just had to do that. You know, you'd think nothing much, right? Yeah. People would have fun. Yeah. Isn't it interesting that with that kind of a philosophy, Millennium grew to what it is today? And the goal of service and putting good energy out there in whatever way whatever
and creating
you're doing.
Something positive like you did. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and if you put out good energy, it's going to come back. So
right, because the world needs it. Yeah. And the forces that be will support you. Yeah. Amazing. I always feel, Robert always feel, we always say the same thing. You know, a lot of people work hard. Yeah. A lot of people have experience or smarts or good breaks or opportunities. Yeah. We're here because we are dedicated to dancers. Yeah. But the art of dance and the unity of dancers. Yeah. As a matrix for how the world should run. Yeah. And we feel that we're just doing a job, and as long as we watch over, you know, our territory, that the better forces are going to shine on us and say, okay, you're doing a good job. Here we go. Keep here we going. Go. That we're just kind of servants of that in a beautiful way. It's been a great journey, but I never expected. Yeah. It wasn't the goal. Great. No. I think the goal was a fun place. And I mean, I did crazy things in the beginning. Like I painted the walls different colors. I feng shuied it. Yeah. All the dance studios are white. They're like, oh, Millennium, they're crazy, those people. But again, with the colors, dancers need to be inspired and feel kind of comfy. So yeah, great. So what's next for you guys? Well, a couple of years ago we went through the process 5 years ago of franchising. And we started selling franchises 2 years ago. So we're international now. Wow. And it's just the beginning stages. We have 8 up and running. We have another about that much coming on board in the next couple of years. Wow. We have started a dance week, an international dance week
Yeah.
in LA.
Yes.
First one. Again, about unity and all countries coming together for a week, like Fashion Week in New York, and doing shows and trainings.
Cool.
And we had a lot of our teachers do lectures.
Wow.
So they're not even teaching, they taught dance, but certain ones, Kenny Wormwald did it this year, Alison Stoner, Trisha Miranda. Educational. How I got started. And not just how I did it, and you can too, but the heart and the spirit of what they should be projecting.
Yeah.
So I'm actually launching something on the website called Millennium, a movement of spirit.
Yeah.
And we did our first couple tapings about different positive speakers or modalities. We had the guy from the Kabbalah Center do spiritual sleep and dreaming. We're doing a dream board segment. We're doing one on visualization. We're just doing all different kinds of modalities.
Yeah.
Another one for health.
Yeah, so important.
We started yoga. So I want dancers to be able to have access to different positive things that
mental,
can help
emotional,
them.
and physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I think they need that support.
How do people become franchisees?
They just apply.
They just apply.
Yeah, it's an individually owned and operated.
But they carry your name.
They carry our name, and they carry the philosophy of Millennium and the idea. So we make our best effort to train them in that. And we send our teachers on a regular basis out there. Yeah. So it makes the people in Pittsburgh, who was our first franchise, amazing people there,
feel a part of it.
They feel a part of it, and they have access to LA.
Yeah, right.
So they constantly have access. If their teachers come out there, they study with us. If they want to perform, we hook it up.
Yeah.
So it's a way that they can, bring that to their hometown. And then at the end of the year, come out for the convention and perform. They performed at Choreographers Carnival. We did our own, hot showcase called the Millennium Experience.
Amazing.
Next year we'll do City Walk, and we'll have a crew battle.
Yeah.
So we'll have a lot of performance
That's
opportunities.
so cool.
Their teachers teach at our studio, so they get teaching experience in LA.
Yeah.
And the main thing that I love that you would never think would be such a huge deal was all those choreographers from Philadelphia or Dallas or, Salt Lake. All those teachers come and they meet our teachers who are, pretty well known.
Yep.
And they form friendships and alliances. Yeah. And the out-of-towners are always shocked that our choreographers are
so open to it.
They're so open. They're so warm and so giving. Yeah. That they make and then they come. They travel. I'm on tour. Yeah. Can I come and teach? And I know someone. So they really take them not under the wing. Yeah. But it's a close network, and that's a beautiful thing that I didn't realize would happen. It's interesting because we do require that they do all styles of dance. They can modify it. Actually, like for instance, Pittsburgh, I'll use that. They're mostly lyrical. Right. Their lyrical companies are strong and beautiful. They do a lot of concert work. But they also they have the hip hop. They bring the hip hop teachers. They have the ballet. So wherever you go, you can do mostly hip hop, a lot of hip hop. But you have to have the jazz. You have to have the ballet. You have to have the lyrical.
Yeah, because that's the Millennium brand.
It's integrating all the styles so that it stays fresh and a unity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what,
it's
really
so
fun.
Exciting.
We are.
Yeah.
We're really excited.
You guys are like a huge a huge business. It's amazing.
So many things happening, and we're going to do a couple corporate locations, and we're actually, my goal is next year to move on into the west side, maybe, or Santa Monica.
Yeah, great.
Because a lot of people can't drive this far.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, it's really nice meeting you, Shannon.
Nice
pleasure. We share a lot of the same philosophies. So
yes.
Glad to
it's nice to
be
hear
with a kindred spirit.
Thank you.
Thank you.